Hi guys, welcome back. So in this video, we'll be looking at how to animate the camera in the scene. So you tend to start from a point where the camera starts to navigate to a certain point within the scene and gives the viewer some sort of storytelling effect in terms of being able to take the viewer through the scene, show them certain areas or emphasis or just telling a story basically. The benefit of this is that the user doesn't really have to sort of bother about using a mouse or keyboard. They could have the option of clicking on the button to do that, but then you give them as an option. They could either just watch the video and just learn from what you're showing them. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to sort of navigate the scene using a camera, using Threejs library. So let's see how it's done. So generated lesson plan for what's next. In the lesson 16, that was where I dealt with first person controller. In this lesson, which is lesson 17, I'm going to be dealing with camera movements and animation. Next lesson 18, camera control, 19, object interaction, and so on and so forth. So basically that's the plan for the rest of the sessions. And so this could change as time goes. For instance, this lesson 17 could extend into the next 18 just because we want to investigate a few more things. But I'll let you know once this changes. Well, let's get on with the lesson anyways. So we're back to the app we've been building in three.js. I'm going to just run the app now, see what the outlook looks like. You should remember what it looks like when you see the. I'm just going to drag it to the left to see if I can position both interfaces directly. So, and this is what it looks like. The camera seems to already do some rotation. That's because I've done some bit of TweenJS coding in the past, just before this lesson actually. I've sort of realized that I want to sort of sync up multiple tween animations, but with it just the tween.js, I can do that. So I've created a function called generate first person control. I'm just going to make sure that I'm using the right app.js file. Yeah, that's right. So I've created this generate camera walkthrough function to perform the Threejs. If I've just refresh and you see what it does actually, it's sort of two animations. It's also rotates the camera in an unpredictable way, which is a problem we need to solve as well. What I've just done is sort of manipulated this code from Copilot and then use this in the code, but we sort of need to use something different. We use create.js to sort of sync up link up multiple twin animations. So I'm just going to delete this and have an empty function, generate camera walkthrough. Ideally, this should not do anything. The camera should just remain in its position. I'm just going to go up to the code where I've called that function. I can see it's called here, generate camera walkthrough. I'll just sort of comment it out and then enable the first person control, which we've done in an earlier video. You probably see that the first person control text comes up there telling you that it's in first person control mode. You probably need to do the same thing for the camera movement control as well, or well, just camera movement animation basically. And then you can see that when I use the mouse, I can sort of navigate this scene because the first person control. When I use the left button, I can go forwards and I can also navigate the same with my right mouse button going backwards. And if I use the arrow keys, I can sort of go right, left, and then forwards as well. But I sort of need to use the mouse to sort of rotate and then be able to use the buttons to go forwards and backwards. But then with the controls, I can navigate the scene, move around, look at what's in there, and you can have users actually do this as well. But the benefit of actually animating a camera means that you can be able to move the camera for the user and have them focus on certain areas that you want them to pay attention to. So what we're going to do in this video basically is sort of replace this manual process of navigating the scene and then animating the camera itself too. So take the user on a journey or storytelling journey to see certain things in your scene. So I'm just going to comment out the first person control and start with the camera walkthrough code. I'll just uncomment that. And in this video, we're going to use create.js. Create.js, not create.js. So I'm just going to go into function generate camera walkthrough. And you see that Copilot is already suggesting some code to use, which I don't think works for us because we're not doing anything on first person controls. It sort of looked into my code and suggested certain things, which I've already done in next function. So we try to see if you prompt Copilot so give you the right code and type your Threejs code to move the camera and let's see what it does, but it doesn't really, it's not bringing up object controls definitely means that it's gotten wrong. So we're not going to use Copilot anyway. So we're going to, let's see how far it goes. No, it doesn't work for us. So I'll just sort of delete this and we'll go to the web to get the Threejs code. Just go open the browser on a separate page and drag in Threejs. So what you do is if you go to threejs.com, I click on the title there, takes you to three.js.com, and then you can just click on TweenJS and then you get the code. Just click on get started and it shows you what to do. And then what I'll just do is copy that script there and copy into the index.html page. And then I can come down there and copy the Threejs.tween. I can reuse the code anyway. You don't have to think about how to use it. Just follow the instructions. So I'm going to go into index.html, paste the script at the top there, and automatically the Threejs library gets pulled in. And then I'm just going to copy this code from here and paste into my code as well. Let's see how that runs. Ideally, it shouldn't work for us, and you might think of why. Yes, it's because we need to reference the camera's position, not the circle. If you look at line go through, you see that it line 300. It has a camera. It has a circle in there. So what I'll do is I'll pull in the reference to my camera. If you go back to that function there, I've sort of retrieve the objects which are static within the class and then send them back as in the list. So it makes it easier for me to just pull them out wherever I need them. And then what I'll do here is just put a line there and just use the camera in place of the circle and to the camera dot position. You see that it doesn't work at all with just the camera because it can't access the position of the camera. I'm just going to delete all this and then make a few changes. I'm going to add the position for the camera so we can access the X, Y, and Z positions. So it's already animating the camera with a 400 on the X, which is not all one for 1 second, which is quite short as well. I'm going to change it 4 seconds to 5 seconds just to make it a bit slower. Gives it a bit shorter animation. So if we put at 10,000 seconds for instance, and power out, power in out, I can see that if we make a change to the X, let's put a value for the Y, for the Z, we probably will want to move in the vertical axis. I went to a value of 10 for the Z, see how far it moves the camera a bit on the Z axis, but it's not so obvious. So we could as well add in extra lines to this. See whether we can sort of add an extra animation bit to change X to another position to another value and change Y, Z to another value as well. And what it does is that it first of all does the first animation and then proceeds on to the next animation. So both of them are 10,000. We'll make them 5,000, that's 5 seconds each. We could try it 1,000, see how fast that actually happens so we can see the results quickly. And then you can see how fast it moves the camera from source to destination. And what we can do is sort of change that to far to 2000 each, and let's see how much faster it does that. We can change the power value as well, something a bit lower, say 1. And we can see that the result is that it's slower than it's lower than normal, which it makes sense because that's probably what we need. Let's see what it looks like with the 10. So you can see that with the 10 it's much faster, so we don't really need something that high. We just need something that softly gently So then gently animate the camera from source to destination based on how we want the camera to look at the, based on where we want the camera to be at the end of the animation. So we can also add a function call after this, create some rotation for this. So I will use a call and then add in a function within that call, and then probably add in the code to do the rotation of the camera. So you could actually create multiple functions and make these calls from this particular location. So you just call. And what we could do there is change the camera to rotation and rotate it across various axes. But we'll suddenly realize that we have a problem here. The camera is not rotating properly, so we should probably rotate it left to right, but we seem to even be rotating on different axes, even with the y-axis. If we were to make it just the uh, y-axis, it rotates funny without the x and z axis. So this is probably caused by the fact that we've already rotated the camera sometime earlier in the code. If our rotation started from here, while the camera is at 0, 0, 0 for the x, y, and z, then it will be a bit more predictable. So we probably want to go back into the code and look at where we might have changed the rotation of the camera. And if I were to search through the code, see where I might have used the look at instruction to the camera, you'll see that at some point, this is the first person controls. We might have used, yeah, so when we create a camera, we call the look at camera to look at the scene position, which we could comment out and then try this again and see what happens. Now you can see that it rotates only on the y-axis. It doesn't rotate on the x or z axis. So this sort of works for us, and we'll probably work with this and skip that bit where we make the camera look at the scene. We probably can make it look at the scene at the end of the rotation. Then the camera could decide on which sort of rotation it needs to look at the scene. So now, next is for us to actually position the camera to face the doorway, and we can sort of change the value of y. So it seems to be directly facing the doorway. Next is to probably position it properly to the left, so we can change the value of let's sort of increase the speed, the time to 5 seconds, so it makes it comes a bit more gentler. And then we can look at changing the value of y to bring it a bit lower, so 5 or let's say 4. And then we can change the value of x to take it a bit more to the left. Let's put a value of 9, and see what it looks like. So it seems like it goes too far to the left. Put a value of 10 in there, see if it's better. And the good benefit of this is the fact that you can actually see the results instantly as you're making these changes. So it automatically navigates this and animates the camera and you can see what happens. So what we could do next really is to make him go forwards by adding another line, and this time changing just the value of z, because z is the front back axis, so we can make it go 20. And when it goes 20, it's sort of let's see, we can remove the y-axis and the x-axis as well. We don't need the x-axis, but then it goes in a bit and then stops at the door. So we probably want to go in a bit further, so we can make it say 10. See how far in we can go. And you can see it takes us quite into the scene. So I think at this point we'll probably stop here and then proceed on the next video to the next subject, and we'll still do a bit of this camera movement. But I'm sure that in this video you've been able to see how to simply easily use the Threejs library to just animate your camera from start to end. You could add in more lines of animations to make your camera go into locations. You could also add in the rotations within the call function as well. So in the next video, it's camera control, which means that you should be able to use your mouse to control the camera. But that also implies that you get to be able to either switch between first person control to camera control. So see you then. Hope you enjoy this video. If you did enjoy it, please like and share. And then I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Thanks. Bye.